Hi, everybody. Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. And coming up tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. You really don't need me to tell you how tropical it is outside. We've got very warm and humid conditions. That's going to continue for the next several days. We'll probably have some thunderstorms to deal with along the way. We'll also be talking about weather going on in the rest of the country, and we'll take a look at the tropics, and we'll look at the weekend. That's tonight on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. The real heat, and we're talking excessive heat, is in the middle Mississippi Valley and kind of meanders its way down into western Tennessee and eastern Arkansas, and also into northwest Mississippi. This is where we're seeing heat indices that are up over 105. A large area of heat advisories from Georgia to Texas and then northward up toward Nebraska, and then east from there into Missouri and southern Illinois. We also have some severe thunderstorm watches going on as of 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time in western Kentucky and much of the state of Tennessee. Some flood watches up as well into southwest Virginia and in a couple of counties in southwestern North Carolina. Also in the northern half of New Hampshire, we have some flood watches up. And for everybody else, it's really going to be a matter of thunderstorms that will move on through. Every once in a while, you could see an area of thunderstorms that sits over one particular spot for a bit, and that could cause some localized flash flooding. And we'll show you how WPC has it mapped out in just a second. There's a rotation here in the upper atmosphere, and you can see the clouds turning counterclockwise. There's a series of shortwave troughs that are moving eastward. We've got one that's coming through today, and that's got showers and thunderstorms ahead of it. And there's also probably going to be some isolated severe thunderstorms ahead of that. And then we've got a second one that's probably going to arrive for tomorrow. And that could bring another round of showers and thunderstorms and some isolated severe weather. So this is the pattern we're in as these upper systems move along. And as we look out into the west, we've got moisture that's in the parts of the Pacific Northwest. We also have thunderstorms ahead of that second short wave that's moving across into Iowa and western Illinois. And you can see on the radar this afternoon the beginnings of some downpours and thunderstorms moving across central Pennsylvania down into southwest PA and then further south into western Virginia. We'll probably see this expand a bit as it moves to the east. Also, some clusters going on in upstate New York. You see actually about half a dozen severe thunderstorm warnings going on right now in west central Kentucky, and that area is going to translate southward into Tennessee. This is where we have the severe thunderstorm watch. Also seeing with that second short wave, some clusters of thunderstorms moving through Iowa and into Missouri. And we've got a little bit of shower activity happening on up in Idaho and back over into Montana and into the Dakotas. The Storm Prediction Center today actually has an enhanced risk for severe weather from eastern Nebraska southeastward into southern Illinois. We've got that one working severe thunderstorm watch box that's up in northeastern Missouri and extending into parts of west central Illinois. Also, looking at another severe thunderstorm watch in central and eastern Tennessee and in portions of central Kentucky. Marginal risk runs all the way up through Pennsylvania, and then another area of marginal risk in upstate New York and in northern New England. Now, for tomorrow, the Storm Prediction Center's got marginal risk western PA down the Appalachians to northern Georgia and then north and west from there. We get into a slight risk in Minnesota, eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska, northeast Kansas, northwest Missouri, much of Iowa. There's an enhanced risk in there as well. And that comes with a large area of 2% tornado risk. And as we move on to day three, and this is Thursday into Friday, we have marginal risk from the mid-Atlantic states northwestward into the Ohio Valley and into the northern Great Lakes. Rainfall amounts over the next 7 days, 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches up and down the eastern seaboard, and then west across the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. There are some areas in southeast Ohio and West Virginia where it could be on the order of 2 to maybe 3 inches. And this area in eastern Pennsylvania to New Jersey to about New York City and the Hudson Valley, where it could be 1.5 inches or 2 inches. But again, bear in mind that because of the nature of thunderstorms and the time of year, that local amounts could be 50% higher. They could even be 100% higher. And that's why WPC has localized flash flooding risks, marginal risks from northwest New Hampshire and much of Vermont, across upstate New York, all of Pennsylvania into northwest New Jersey, down to Maryland, northern Virginia, West Virginia, and then we have this large area of slight risk from Iowa southeastward into Tennessee. And then for tomorrow, we're looking at marginal to slight risk in the Northeast and marginal to slight risk from the Appalachians northwest through the Ohio Valley and back into the upper Mississippi Valley. So it's just you got a tropical air mass in the eastern part of the United States, upper troughs moving through. You're going to get these thunderstorm risks from day to day. And just rolling back the GFS, you can see that it does show some rain coming into the eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England. I don't know that everybody gets to see the thunderstorms tonight. Just be on the lookout. We'll be watching the radars going into this evening. Then that goes out, and then more thunderstorms develop tomorrow. The emphasis shifts more to the north, northern New Jersey through upstate New York, and also in the Ohio Valley. And when it's not doing that, you've got clouds and sunshine, very warm to borderline hot conditions with temperatures in the mid 80s, mid to upper 80s, and humidity levels very high. Thursday might be a day where we could catch a bit of a break, although it looks like there's another little short wave with maybe some thunderstorms late Thursday afternoon and evening. Then that goes by, and then Friday night and on Saturday, we've got looks like a stronger trough and cold front coming through. And this is where I think we see the risks for showers and thunderstorms and maybe some severe weather late in the day, Saturday into Saturday night, and perhaps even lingering into part of Sunday. Just want to quickly look at the tropics. The Hurricane Center has been just focusing its attention on disturbed weather here in the tropical Atlantic. It is rather disorganized. Clearly, there's actually a little low level swirl, but there's no thunderstorms with it. Now, this is going to continue on a track mostly to the west northwest and make its way toward the Bahamas. Uh, Depending on what model you look at, the GFS keeps it as a rather weak system and eventually brings it into the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And you see it there, that little closed circle. It really doesn't do much with it. The European and the Canadian model, at least before today, haven't seen the new European yet, but we can take a look at what the Canadian is doing with it because it seems to want to take that energy up along the southeast coast and then riding it out to the northeast. Either way, from what I'm seeing right now, this does not appear as if it's going to become a big problem. But we're getting into that more active time of the hurricane season, so we certainly want to keep an eye on it, which we will do tonight as we look at things on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast at 7:35 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great rest of your afternoon. We'll see you tonight.